I'm going to take some time to read some comments from my video where I said PlayStation handed Xbox the W. That's what I used for the thumbnail title, and then for the title was how PlayStation inadvertently boosted Xbox's rise to dominance. Now, that video was I thought it really did kind of help paint the picture in terms of what has been going on, how PlayStation pretty much slept on, going out there to make changes and make moves. They were comfortable. They had more consoles sold. They had the Asian market. They also had the ears of even some Western developers and were able to, money had some games and put them as timed exclusives and pretty much continue to, make moves that harmed the Xbox business and the Xbox ecosystem. Now, the first comment there said, please change your B-roll to another game. So, guys, here we are. We're not using Gotham Knights footage. We're going to use Marvel Spider-Man 2. This person said something very interesting. They said, oops, this video aged like sour milk. This comment was made an hour ago, which is really interesting. I don't know how a video can age that fast. Perhaps there's something that I do not know they're saying. And they said, if the PS5 Pro could flop and Xbox still won't catch up. That's their premise, that a PS5 Pro could flop and Xbox still won't catch up this gen. I don't know if you're projecting something about the PS5 Pro and its performance, but hey, let's keep moving on. This audience member of mine said, dude, how delusional are Xbots? I wouldn't know. I am not an Xbot. But he said PS5 has sold twice the units than the Series X and S last year. It outsold it by a larger margin. The consoles have been pulled off shelves in many countries. Still haven't verified this information, but whatever. And Xbox gaming services revenue, Game Pass, in fiscal year 23 dropped from fiscal year 22. The only reason it rose in fiscal year 24 is because they added revenue from Activision, which is pretty much what PlayStation has been afraid of and been trying to tell the PlayStation fan base that they should run. There's fire in the mountain. It's even known that Game Pass subscriptions like Xbox Game Pass has barely grown in 2 years, of which Game Pass subscription makes one piece of the puzzle because, as Sony informed y'all, it's 50% subscription, 50% console, and 60% PC. They're not dead if one dies. In fact, the others are designed to kind of, in a sense, pick the others up as time goes on. However, I think more than anything, guys, is a lack of understanding of Xbox's business model. It's not complex. It's just counter-cultural to the tradition that we've known in terms of the way these gaming platforms have actually done things. That's all it is. It literally stepped out of the box and said, I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm just going to go do something else. And I'm telling you, it has warped even some of the most, critically analytical people out there. I've seen them literally make some conclusions that I'm like, okay, what could this all be? And then moving on, they said, even from a customer perspective, subscriptions like Game Pass means you never own your games. Does anybody want to tell dude? Anyways, you stop paying 1 month and you can't play your games. Does anybody want to tell dude? That's not good in the long term. Does anybody want to tell dude? Look at the numbers. You guys here are in a delusional bubble. My dude, have you read this document, bro? The word dominance is not even a word that I came up with in this conversation. It's the word that PlayStation's analysis used. It says it here, subscription. This subscription that you just downplayed, you spent all of that text downplaying. Look at what PlayStation said about it when their documents leaked. Shout out to Jess Corden. It says subscription. Microsoft's comprehensive ecosystem coupled with exclusivity creates greater dominance. I didn't use the word dominance. PlayStation used the word dominance. I can't be living in a delusional bubble when PlayStation is telling me something and you are telling me not to trust my eyes. I'm not the one living in, I don't know who is. I don't know if it's anybody else, but it's not me that's living in any delusional bubble. I'm sorry, bro. And then the one I just addressed on the past video where the person says, I don't know because the console numbers don't lie. We made a video talking about how, this breakup in terms of the different pieces shows Xbox ecosystem in a different light. Nothing complex, just counter-traditional in terms of that. Someone said, what are you talking about? Before Microsoft bought Activision, they were at the bottom of the barrel. Well, not really. They were positioned to rise to the top at any point. Because again, if you look at their ecosystem, the one that, is there. So you see, Microsoft's, comprehensive ecosystem, because they had it, they were building it. PlayStation didn't do jack. They were giving you games that were already coming to you, and you were eating them up. Oh, we got this game that PlayStation brought to you by PlayStation, bro. A third-party developer was always going to bring the game to you, But somewhere, somehow, PlayStation kept just telling everybody that, oh, this game is only for you. And they would advertise it too, beat it on drums, only on PS5. So that way, it will make Xbox seem weak. But you didn't know that behind the scenes, there was a sleeping giant, the one that you don't want to actually awaken. And that's what's sad, actually. Some people think I'm laughing at this in tongue in cheek because for the most part, I finally jumped out of this whole madness by actually maintaining a PC library at this point. But I can tell you that this is the one thing that nobody really did want. For them, like in reality though, you did not really want, even the Xbox fans, you just didn't know that you didn't want it. Maybe somewhere in your heart you wanted Xbox to come on and fight back and whatever. But trust me, if PlayStation does not respond and Xbox holds this market, man, if the leadership that is currently there, that has actually orchestrated a lot of this, if they leave, I don't know if we could vouch for the others. Because remember, it was some weird leadership that caused the Xbox One issue. I just don't know if they'll be able to be in strong hands. I don't know. That's just a whole different conversation later down the road. Then they said, behind Sony and Nintendo and Tencent. So let me ask you a question. If the Activision deal gets blocked, where is Xbox sitting right now? Don't know, don't care, doesn't matter. PlayStation was sleeping when everything was being done. So I don't see how that's actually relevant. Somebody else said, if Xbox is dominating, they wouldn't need to pour all their exclusives to PlayStation. Well, I'm not the one, again, let's continue with this, theme. I'm not the one saying that Xbox is dominating. PlayStation themselves, Sony's PlayStation are saying that because of, the Microsoft's comprehensive ecosystem coupled with exclusivity creates greater dominance. So inherently, if this was actually broken down, it seems like there was a base level of dominance. So now when you couple the two things that Microsoft had, the ecosystem and the potential for exclusivity, maybe if you actually say, okay, maybe the exclusivity of Activision games, maybe the exclusivity of Call of Duty games, whatever it is, creates a greater dominance. So they're already establishing that there's a base level of dominance there, but then anything on top of that is greater upon it. So back to the comments. And let's keep reading. I mean, it's interesting to see. Oh, yeah. This person says, real banger. I've been seeing your comments the last few days. Shout out to you. Welcome to the channel. You said in a competition, you try to take as much market as you can. Sony have done it well. Microsoft have helped, not as much though. Somebody said, the question is, how long can Sony continue with these actions? Karma will show its face. They said, well, how long? They could keep it up, but Microsoft has taken the knee, so there isn't any need for it anymore at the same level. Well, if Microsoft has taken the knee, I think we need to go back and ask them, why is PlayStation saying that? Based on, let's start from console, the shift from PlayStation to Xbox with timing in-game differential as the weapons. This is pretty much them saying that, pretty much the nature of Call of Duty, right? Because PlayStation was getting the most beautiful version of it. And then they moved over and said, man, even with that already, add that to Microsoft's comprehensive ecosystem coupled with exclusivity creates greater dominance. So again, it provides also a massive threat to PlayStation Plus, upwards of 1.5 billion of annual revenue threat, and is a gap to fill. So again, I don't know how you concluded that Microsoft has taken the knee when there's greater dominance in that particular space. Again, I have to do this over and over and over again. This person said, Red-Eyed Dragon, shout out to you. Thank you so much for your comment. They said, Xbox Game Pass is stagnant. No new subs. Sit down. Well, that's quite uncanny because my desk is on the standing mode, but thanks for being a savant. But as being a savant is probably your forte, you must have missed that this stagnation of which you speak is not inherently the core of Xbox's business. Because if we go back to the document that PlayStation actually put out and we stick with it, and see guys, okay, let's keep going. They say that Microsoft can supply multi-game subscription at 50%. They also have their console where they still sell games. Then they also have PC where they sell games. If Game Pass stagnates at 34 million, it doesn't really mess anything up. Why? They already have a specific number that they're willing to spend on Game Pass to keep it sustainable and to keep it profitable. They're not going to spend more than that. If they go meet people for Game Pass deals and they're not meeting that number, what they analyze, they walk away. Somebody else is going to take the Game Pass deal, of which, again, we return to where it is said that this subscription, of which Game Pass is, they're not even talking about it. They say the comprehensive ecosystem coupled with exclusivity creates greater dominance. I won't sit down. I'll tell you the truth. I'll just continue to, basically iterate the same thing. I'm not the one supporting a console that's basically dead and ignored by third parties. Well, no. PlayStation was money-hatting those games. And after having money-hatted itself into oblivion, it's now freaking out because just one game has gone to Game Pass, and now its whole business model has collapsed. That's weird. The Red Eye Dragon, welcome to the channel. I hope you stay around, by all means. This is what we deal with this whole conversation when we're talking about the console space. Because now, we have the word dominance used. We have the perception. We have the analysis, the conclusion of dominance being used. But then at the same time, you're going to see people that open their mouth and tell me to sit down. Gaslighting at its finest, trying to tell me, oh, you know what? You don't even really know what you're seeing. You're seeing something different. Interesting. Oh, this is why there are 5 or more YouTube videos every 24 hours, guys, because it just keeps coming. My fellow PlayStation fans, I have a special thanks for you guys very soon. I appreciate y'all for your comments. I really do appreciate the interaction. Thanks again. Peace out.